Hello, fellow Movie Crusaders, and welcome to another episode of Sean's Movie Crusades. My name's Sean Wasserkrug, and today we're going to be reviewing the latest rom-com to hit movie theaters, The Broken Hearts Gallery. Now, for me, honestly, when I looked at my movie theater and looked at showings to see what came out this week, I saw this. I didn't really know what it was. It just looked kind of like a generic film that they were just kind of releasing out into theaters, something that I would never really check out or even consider watching and reviewing for you guys. But then my Facebook feed literally kept dropping little snippets of this movie into my feed, and I started to see who was the cast and started to listen to some of the little scenes that popped up on my feed, and it actually looked like it could have been a fun movie. So I was bored this weekend, really didn't have anything to do, so I was like, you know what, screw it. Let's go check out the Broken Hearts Gallery, and let's go ahead and hop into the review and see exactly what I thought of it. Now, for me, with rom-coms, like I said, they've been touch and go over the last few years. It's kind of been a dying breed, but you eventually find some diamonds in the rough that have really been really great rom-coms, whether mostly on Netflix, whether it be like Set It Up, Always Be My Maybe, Crazy Rich Asians in theaters, Love Guaranteed earlier this year on Netflix. The rom-coms, they're kind of become just kind of gone away. They either are just all just teenage like love stories, or they're just depressing films. So to find one like Lovebirds earlier this year was okay, but really just didn't hit what we needed to. Like, it was a fine film, but it just wasn't there all the way for me. So going into this movie, I was really kind of tempering my expectations. I was hoping for something of the likes of like a Set It Up, Always Be My Maybe, and Crazy Rich Asians, and less of a Lovebird situation. The main thing that really got me kind of linked into wanting to watch this was the cast. With the cast, you got I always say his first name wrong, but it's like Decree Montgomery. People know him as Jason the Red Ranger from the Power Rangers movie, or more notably as Billy from Stranger Things. And then Geraldine Viswanathan. I know I butchered that. I apologize. Most people will know her from the TBS show Miracle Workers with Daniel Radcliffe, or Blockers. She played, I think it was John Cena's daughter in the film. So this is kind of her first big kind of coming out as the lead role in this film. Then you also have Molly Gordon, who I know from Booksmart, as well. And then you also got Philippa Sue, who I love. Everyone knows her from Hamilton. This is the first movie I've actually seen her in where she's on screen. She was also on The One and Only Ivan earlier this year, but she was the voice of a parrot and was completely underutilized. And then also Utkarsh Budker. I know I probably said that name wrong too, but he was fantastic in Brittany Runs a Marathon. I thought he was fantastic in that. And so this cast, this group really kind of intrigued me. And like I said, the small little scenes that I got to see on my Facebook feed really kind of had enough of a charm to make me really want to check it out. Now, the Broken Hearts Gallery, the plot's very basic, very simple. It's after a breakup, a young woman decides to start a gallery where people can leave trinkets from past relationships. Main character obviously being Geraldine's Lucy. She's basically a girl who, no matter every relationship she's ever been in, she's always kind of hoarded memories from each previous relationship, and she keeps them no matter how bad the relationship was, whether it was good or bad. She always has stuff. So most of the stuff that she has is from these past relationships, to the point where her friends, played by Molly Gordon, who's Amanda, and Philippa Sue, who's Nadine, basically call her a hoarder and find it kind of weird and creepy that she does these things, but she has her own reasonings for it. You find out later in the film why. But she's very quirky, and she's currently in a relationship with Max, played by Utkarsh. And when things go sour, it opens up the door for her to create the Broken Hearts Gallery, which is basically a gallery where people who are like Lucy, who have kept things from a past relationship, can put them on display for people, and to finally release themselves or let go of the heartache and stuff that they had from the previous relationships. And of course, along the way, she meets Nick, played by Decree Montgomery, or Dacre. I can never figure out how to say his name properly, and I've listened to his videos, and you can't tell. But along the way, she meets him, and he's kind of like this guy who's trying to build his own hotel. He's got very straightforward goals, and they kind of work together with helping her with her gallery and helping him with his hotel. and typical rom-com stuff happens throughout. The main thing that you got to decide when it comes to a rom-com, because all rom-coms, they really do run the same formula. You put any rom-com side by side with each other, you play them at the same times, the same beats are going to hit at the exact same moments of the film. I'm not going to break them down because I don't want to burst the bubble of anyone who's never noticed that before. But you're going to have your cliche moments where you got to get to you got your first act, your second act, and you got to get to the third act. And it's always got to be this one thing that leads into the third act, to the inevitable ending of the film. And Broken Hearts Gallery doesn't break that mold. It does do the exact same thing you see with a lot of rom-coms, which I wasn't expecting it to break the mold. I expected it to be just like every other rom-com. The thing that makes Broken Hearts Gallery, whether it be good or bad, is the cast likable? Do you enjoy it? Is it funny? Does the chemistry between the two leads work? And no matter how many rom-coms you see, that is always the most vital and important part of any rom-com. You can have a rom-com be as boring as it is, but if you have a fantastic cast that's funny, charming, and you enjoy having them on screen, it doesn't matter what the rom-com script is, it's going to work. And that is what makes Broken Heart Galleries work. The cast is great. They're all likable. Every one of them on screen, you enjoy them. I left out one other character, Marcos, Arturo Castro. He's hilarious. I haven't seen him in anything really. But all of them have great chemistry. Dacre, however you want to say, Nick in the movie, and Lucy have fantastic chemistry together. Lucy's quirky and weird, and Nick's just kind of off-put by her at first, but then kind of develops a friendship with her quirks. Molly Gordon's Amanda and Philippa So's Nadine are hilarious best friends that work together, and they're there for the jokes, but they mesh so well with the chemistry with Lucy that these three friends are actually a very vital part of the film and very fun to watch them together. I could watch a movie with just these three girls doing whatever and not have to have it be a rom-com, just have it be like a kind of like a girls trip kind of comedy film with these three, and I would totally watch it. I really liked their overall stuff, and Decree Montgomery, I think, did a solid job of being a leading male role. Obviously, we've seen him in Power Rangers and Stranger Things, but this is him kind of coming out and doing like almost like a Zac Efron-esque type of performance, and I think he did a really solid job with it. And I think for most people who are looking at this as just a generic rom-com, are really going to be surprised at how well the writing is, how the cast works together, and just the overall chemistry and likability of everyone on screen. There's rarely a person in this film that you just don't like seeing them on screen. You might dislike their characters because that's the way the script plans it, but every actor is bringing a fun, charismatic, and charming performance to the point that you're going to enjoy this movie pretty much from beginning to end. Like I said, you still have your cliche moments. You still have your run-by-the-numbers rom-com, but in terms of rom-coms in general, over the last few years, Broken Hearts Gallery works incredibly well. So for me, it's going to get a high review for me, and definitely a high recommendation. If you're a fan of rom-coms, if you're looking for something new in the rom-com genre, not necessarily new story, because like I said, it's still very basic to everything else, but it's unique in its own way with the Broken Hearts Gallery aspect of it. That's the uniqueness of the film itself. Then I definitely strongly recommend it. If you're a fan of any of these actors or actresses, I strongly recommend checking these guys out because this was a very fun film to watch and definitely one of my more surprising films of 2020 so far. It's definitely a breath of fresh air to watch this film based off of how the world has been this past year. So if you want something to just kind of envelop inside yourself and just enjoy watching, then definitely go see the Broken Hearts Gallery. It is definitely a high recommendation from me. Going to my overall score, I'm actually going to give it a 7.7 out of 10. Like I said, I love the cast, love the writing, love pretty much everything about it. It is still pretty cliche for a rom-com film. But yeah, 7.7 out of 10. I think it's definitely a high recommendation, so go ahead and check that out. Hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you guys did, go ahead and hit that like button. If you guys feel this review is worth sharing, go ahead and hit that share button. But most importantly, don't forget to hit the subscribe button to the channel so you guys stay up to date with all the latest videos that pop up on Sean's Movie Crusades. And of course, don't forget to follow us on all the social media outlets you see below. Coming up next, we have the latest from the Jordan Peele crew, Antebellum. So be on the lookout for that review. And until next time, in case I don't see you, good morning, good afternoon, and good night, Movie Crusaders.